Hi guys, I am Isa, and today we're going to learn how to use structs. So first let me just tell you something. If you're a Windows user and you compile your Rust code, and you'll have to go to the file manager and then run it. But then it just closes. The reason why is because there's nothing to prevent it from closing. When the program has finished, the program stops. So I'm just gonna add an empty loop to fix that. You could just use like a user input, but we're gonna dive into that later. Okay, so now it does that. It says structs. So anyways, to make a struct, you have to write struct. Wait, but before you can know how to use structs, you need to master data types. Like the ones that we include in functions. So I'm just gonna say like function fn func1. So inside of this func1 function, I'm going to say we'll have this func1 function. I'm going to give it an argument. I'm going to say like num. So we're going to learn about the data types of numbers. So the first one is U8. So U8 is a integer. It's an 8-bit integer, which means that it can only fit up to 255. So let me just print out the number. I'm gonna say func1. I'm just gonna execute func1. So I'm gonna compile my Rust code again. As usual, we need a string or two to format into this. So I'm going to add that. And so here it says that you have to provide the argument. So I'm just going to provide the argument. I'm just going to provide the argument here. So it's going to say like 50. So now let us see that it compiles correctly. So if I run it, it's gonna just print out the number. But if I write like 256, because the maximum that these things could hold. This has the little 256 does not fit into type U8, which means it's 255. So we could use U16. U16's limit is like somewhere around 63,000. So anyways, now let's actually learn how to use structs. So I'm just gonna, you could use struct by writing struct. Struct. So it's gonna be struct, the name of the struct. Struct. Struct color. I'm going to name it color. So we have to write the arguments of the struct. So I'm going to be like red U8, blue, green U8, and blue U8. So now I have this struct thingy. So I'm gonna say let my color is equal to color. We'll have to provide out all the arguments. So I'm gonna say like 255, 90, 160. So now let's just compile our Rust code. it says expected function and stuff. So it says that, it's expected function. So I'm going to, just like add a semicolon. So apparently you just have to replace these brackets. So I'm gonna say like 255, 80, 150. So I'm gonna end along with a semicolon and save. So now if I compile my Rust code, now it shows that, and it shows all those errors. Because we have to specify which arguments we're passing. So we're going to say red 255, green 80, and blue 150. So now if we compile our Rust code once again, it's just shows some errors. So just show some errors that you should turn it like this. So I'm going to recompile the code. So now it shows all of those things because the color struct is never being used. So you have to actually use it, because it doesn't have a use then. I'm going to put my color dot red. And so again, we need to leave the string literal. So now let me compile the code. Now just show some warnings that green and blue are never used. Okay, so just take note that I've switched to cargo. But if you're still using Rust, see, everything will still be the same. So now it prints out 255. Also, since we're using cargo now, we don't need this. If you're using cargo, you don't need this loop. So I'm just gonna, print red, blue, green. I'm gonna just say Oklahoma. My color dot's red. My color dot's blue. And my color dot's green. So if I compile my code again, it does take some time to build. It says red 255, blue 150, and green 80. So anyways, that's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. So bye.